Alright, YouTube, what's up? I got myself another video right here. This is a transmission rebuild. This one's got a hard garage shift. If you don't know what that means going from park to reverse or from park to drive. And it's got like a hard shift. It ain't smooth how it's supposed to be. And so far I've only opened the pan, and what I've noticed so far already is there's metal. That's not good because we literally just put this trans in like maybe no more than 10,000 miles ago. So yeah, this is even 10,000 miles right here worth of damage. So very clearly we've got some damage. So I'm just gonna, in this video, just try to find what was wrong. All on the filter. Extra metal. Alright, let me get the valve body off real quick. Well, at least we kind of know she wasn't bullshitting. This customer was very picky because her steering wheel was off, but it really wasn't, you know. She was just minor things, man. Very picky. Probably should say that. Gotta delete that. Gotta cut all that out. Gotta take this freaking seal out. Ugh. Damn. Remove all your bolts. Okay, now we got an O-ring seal right here. The freaking input shaft seal. Put that over here to the side. So more than likely our failure is going to be up in there. But we still got to check everything just to be safe. Big O-ring. Alright, I got all my parts and some brake clean right there. I can go ahead and get this all cleaned up. I'm actually not going to remove the output shaft, because if you look here, this is a two-wheel drive. It's got the little cone on the end, so this is a two-wheel drive. And on the two-wheel drives, you have a chance of the output shaft having a what do you call it, a sleeve on the splines at the end, and it won't allow you to pull out the output shaft. So I'm not going to take the risk. I'm just going to leave it in there and just clean it out with it in there. Okay, it was all clean. Clean as I can get it, at least. So we can put that to the side for now. And let's focus on the low reverse drum right here. So what I'm actually going to do before I go ahead and tear it down, I'm going to air check it right here with these 4 holes. With the side that's facing up, it's always going to be the furthest left hole. So let's go ahead. Because their complaint was a hard shift or a bad garage shift or whatever. I just want to make sure before I tear this down that the pistons aren't sticking. Other side, and same thing for the side that's facing up. It's going to be for this left hole. Show you on my hand so y'all can see the seems pretty good. Alright, now let me just make sure none of the clutches are burnt. The fluid is extremely red. I don't know if how good y'all can tell, but it's really red. So I don't think any of them are burnt, but I'm still gonna double check and make sure that they're not burnt, just to be safe. Alright, let's check these out real quick. I'm not really going to clean them too much because, oh, glove rip, got to replace it. Okay, I'm back. Gloves are good. But what I was saying is, these aren't burned. I'm not really going to spend the time to clean these because, again, this is brand new mileage. The fluid looks good, so there's not really all that much material everywhere. Yeah, these all look really good. go ahead and throw them back in. Of course, it goes the wave plate, and then the steel, and the fiber. Just keep them in the same order, you know. Don't mix them up. You can put them back in, no problem. I'm looking for the little ledge on this drum snap ring to line it up, but I don't think this one has one. So what I'm gonna do is, where the 4 holes are, I see this as the bottom. So from the bottom, I'm gonna do it at 9 o'clock. So you know, you got 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna have the opening over there at 9 o'clock. Alright, now we got the other side. And again, just keep all the clutches in order and it won't be a problem. But before I put them back in, I actually need to look at these to make sure these are okay to go back in. And I can't tell if that's like extra metal or whatever. Looks like something went on right there. Can y'all see that? I don't know what that is. Doesn't seem major though. Alright, these are good, so we can just go ahead and throw them back in. So I really don't think any of the clutches are going to be burnt, like none of them, just because of how red the fluid is. Like the clutches burning or the material wearing off usually darkens the fluid. This one was a bright red, but again, we can never be too sure, so it's not killing me to go through all the drums, you know, and check them out. And there's that. Again, I'm gonna check for a little block for the O-ring to line it up. And this one does not have one. So again, I'm gonna do the 4 holes. So that's the bottom, and put it at 9 o'clock. Alright, that's on. Let me air check it one more time. That side's good. Check out the other side. Alright, this side's also good. And if y'all don't remember, there's a big old line right here in the case. I think y'all can see it. And when you're removing this for the first time, that line is gonna go directly onto one of these squares. And what I do is I mark it. So this square right here that's all marked up lines up with that line. So that way I don't have to keep looking at the 4 holes and line it up with 4 holes right there. I just look at the line because, you know, it's up here and I can see it. So get the drum back in the case. Alright, and whenever you put that drum in, if you notice, it doesn't sink down all the way most of the time. If it does, you got lucky. So most of the time, it will not go all the way down where it needs to go. And so what I do to help me, I just grab like a little screwdriver, come down here to the output shaft, you know, right here, and you just spin it. If you kind of look closely, you can kind of see the splines right there. They're not lined up with the splines to the drum. So all you got to do is just come down here and spin it. And you can see it sink. Okay, now if you look at the drum now, after you've spun the output shaft, you can see that it is below the line for the big snap ring to go into place. So that's all you're trying to do, you know, just drop the drum to where it has enough room to put the snap ring in. And from there you put the snap ring in. Alright, if y'all are looking for the part number for these pliers, there it is. Freaking help out big time. Alright, that's all in there nice and neat. Now we can focus on these drums right here. Let's get the little bearing. They're usually always stuck to the drum, so just pay attention to that. I'm not really going to clean these because, again, I mean, they're all pretty clean. But what I am going to look for is to see if there's any metal in the grooves. If there is metal, I'm going to have to, of course, clean it. But, oh, okay, I kind of see some excess residue down there. So, yep, I'm going to have to go ahead and spray all the drums up. So I thought that was metal. It's not metal. I don't know what that is. So on top of looking for metal or anything like stuck in the grooves, you want to pay attention to the bushings up in here. There's one down here on the inside. That one looks good. You got one on here. And that one also looks good. And you got 2 areas where bushing rides is right here and down here. So just look at those, make sure they're not freaking marked or anything. These look good. These all look good, so I'm gonna just go ahead and lube them all up. Lube up all the bushing areas. Alright, now that's all looped up. Go ahead, throw it in the trans. So the outside splines, I guess you could say, is where the clutch is right there. They line up. So you're gonna have to spin it down in there. Like that. And you can kind of see right there that it's touching the trans, or that it's flush down at the bottom. You can kind of see right there. There's literally like no more room that it could go another step down. And if you look at the output shaft, it spins in the opposite direction of the drum that you just put in. And that's how you know it's all the way in. Thing with these two drums, spray them both off. Now that these drums are all clean, you just want to look mainly on this one. It's only got the two bushing areas. I was looking to see if it's got one in there and one in there, but it doesn't. It just rides on some up here and down here. So just check those out, make sure they're not scratched or nothing. And these look good. Just lube it up. Lube the top one. Then you got your two bearings here, of course. This is going to be the bottom one that goes in there. I'm gonna lube it up first so it sticks like this, and set it down. There you go. Grab all that extra lube and I put it down there into the bushing. Alright, now we can grab our other drum and go ahead and set it in there also. This one just falls straight down. And again, look in the holes, watch it sink, make sure like that, make sure there's not any more room. And you know this one is in, whenever you spin it, the output shaft spins in the same direction. Like that. And yeah, it just spins in the same direction. And now you can add your other bearing. I lube it up just so it can stick on there and just set it in like this. And same thing, just put it in the center. The excess lube. Want to grab the last tiny bearing. The fingers are going to face upwards and you just set it down in the drum right here. This one's ready to throw in also. And this one just sits in vertically like this. with the rod going into the trans. Alright, and when you spin this little drum, it only spins clockwise but not counterclockwise, so that's how you know when that one's in. Next, we got 4, 5, 6. Now with 4, 5, 6, this one's always burnt. But on this trans, I'm not really expecting it to be burnt, just because of how red the fluid is. But again, I'm just gonna triple check and make sure that none of the clutches are actually burnt. Go ahead and open her up. Alright, so let's check these out real quick. First one. Good. Yeah, see, these are starting to wear out a little bit. 4, 5, 6 loves to burn, but these actually seem good. Yeah, these are actually good. That's so rare. If the 4, 5, 6 looks pretty good, should I just leave it?
Yeah, how does it look? They're probably all fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's about how they all look.
yeah, because it's only got like 1,000. When you go to the valve body, you gotta be careful. I mean, you can't. It's really slow.
Alright, I'm gonna air check the piston. Just cover up one of the top holes and blow through the other. That's a lot of fluid coming out of there, man. But it looks like nothing is leaking out of the piston. So yeah, make sure you're blocking. There's 2 holes. You got one on this side and you got one on this side. Just make sure it's the top one or the one's closest to the drum. So just blow air very lightly through one side. Just hold it and let it out through the other, and then you can just see if the piston's leaking or not. This one seems good. I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild it. No failure there. Just put this back together. Nothing was wrong with it. So yeah, this thing's got like 1,000 miles apparently. So ain't nothing wrong with these clutches so far. Nothing wrong with any of the, the drums. They're all air checking pretty good. Alright, just turn this thing over and rebuild the other half. So get your bearing with the spinning side facing down. And then you got your little fingers. Got the little fingers facing upwards. Put it in there like that. Grab this thing with the washer, the black washer. Make sure the black washer is facing downwards. And then you have the sprocket down the center. And she's built. Hooray! Alright, now you can throw this in. So you just twist and drop it in there and it'll fall into place. And you know it's all the way in whenever you lift it up and drop it. You hear some metal on metal action. And that's how you know. If you hear like a soft clank, like if it's hitting one of the fibers, then you know it's not all the way in. And you need to continue spinning it and dropping it lower until you have metal on metal action. So that's how you know if that drum's in. So next we can go to 3.5R right here. Again, I don't think any of the fibers are burnt, but we gotta double check. Ooh. Take a look at these fibers. They seem a little discolored, but I've replaced them for them looking like this, and apparently that's fine. That's how these get. It's pretty normal on these. But there is no hot spot on any of the steel plates. Alright, this is good. Alright, and be careful with this one because this one does have a barrier for the snap ring. Y'all can see, you can see all the little notches right here. And it stops right there. This one don't have one. And it continues on right there. All these little notches. This one don't have one. So with that, I put one of the openings. You see how this one has an opening? I put it over the one that doesn't have a wall, or I guess you could say the one that doesn't have a notch for the snap ring to enter. This is a little minor thing. I don't really think it matters, but this is how I do it. So as you can see, one of the openings is going over the wall. That's how I call it. Wrong terminology, but you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish rebuilding this. All right, now if you look again, here's the little barrier. Now what you're going to want to do with that is keep the opening of the snap ring against that wall. Keep the openings of the snap ring against that wall. So I'm going to go ahead and add this up in there. There you go. You can see the opening of the snap ring is to the pillar. So that, you want to make sure of that. Alright, let's add the other half. Add the crown. Make sure this sits all the way. Same thing, make sure it's metal on metal action. Make sure it sits all the way down. Quick glance at these clutches real quick, make sure these are all good. And yeah, these all look good also, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fix this one also. And this one also has a pillar on the top row, but this one's a little bit different. So if you look, where is it? Right here. It's gonna be right here. So all these notches, gotta really pay close attention. All these notches right here are up there, can you see? And then this one kind of just dips a little bit. So this one's gonna be the pillar, the one that dips a little bit, because all these are up there and this one's a little bit low. So just be careful with that. Just watch for the dip on the top half. I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 3, 5 bar. It's one of the two. But just go ahead and re-clutch it. Alright, when you have everything on there, you're gonna notice that little dip, you see, eventually does become a pillar. So you got all the notch, and then you got the pillar, and then notch. So again, line up your snap ring to this notch right there. This one. You got the little gaps right there, you see? You got the little spaces, and you got light poking through. This one you don't, and you got light. So again, so just line up the opening of your ring to that pillar. Just throw it in. And that's it. And this drum is done. But we're not done with it. I'm gonna actually put it over to the side because I need to put it onto here. And I need to make sure that the drum is not leaking. So let me actually tear this down apart. I'm not gonna put it on there after I put the new pump cover on there. But let me just tear this down real quick and see what it's looking like. Alright. I got my chrome 8mm and 3/8. I use chrome because if you use an impact socket on this metal right here, on this material, that bolt is a little too soft. So using soft on soft metal tends to strip it out a little more often. So we use a harder steel like chrome, and it actually tends to work out better. So please don't judge. It just works. I understand I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'm doing it. Take out the bolt. I have short-term memory loss, dude. I don't know if I told you already, but we haven't found anything yet. These were all good. That so far seemed good. I found no air leak on it. So now let's check this pump cover. She don't seem all that scratched. She actually seems really good. So let me check the valves, see how the valves are looking. I got one right here. Can you even see? That valve is good. Got the regulator valve over here. The valve that usually keeps going bad. It honestly feels good. Got a little tiny one right there. Y'all can't really see. But yeah, all the valves seem good. None of them seem to be getting stuck. So what I'm gonna do is take out the regulator valve, right? Here's where the filter goes. So just press that down, right? So press it in, that little silver button. And then you got a little lock right here. And you just get a magnet and take it out. And it comes out. You just want to remember how it comes and everything. Whoa. This seems like an updated valve or something. Let me ask Tony real quick.
They drill it. I can't remember which way. I got the paper over there. But you drill it and then you put the check ball in there. I don't think they drilled it. Here, let me get the paper so we can. So put that back in there. But
So yeah, this ain't the stock one.
So you.
Oh, it is that one.
Yeah, it is. So you take this, oh, you can't see it. So you drill it towards, I think you're supposed to drill it this way. So see that thing right there? But there's no, see what they're doing. Which way is it? Where's the drill bit going to? Locate the OE feed of an adjacent inboard balance port for the pressure regulator valve. Oh, so that's I'm sorry, Ivan, it's this one. But they didn't drill it because using the bore a new orifice from the cup plug into the balance port at an approximately 45-degree angle. They did it again. They didn't. It's supposed to go all the way through. They never drill it. You know that? I showed Tino one too, and they didn't drill it. The other one's better because you don't do any drilling. But just assemble it back together and then I'll write on it. See how they did that? They don't even have it all the way down in there. Yeah, they never drill that. They just put the plug in there. I've been looking at that lately. How you know is you just look at that. Or it's got a check ball in there. Yeah, the other one's better because the lands are even longer. You know what I mean? It's even.
So what do you think they're doing? Installing Sunex kits over there?
They must.
Have you always noticed that?
Yeah, I started when I was building them, but that's like the third one I've seen. But really, when I build them, what I should do, even though if it's a new pump cover, take that regulator valve and put the updated regulator valve in there to keep it from wearing it out.
That's weird. So yeah, this is a remanufactured trans that we installed for a pop and swap, and come to find out they have an aftermarket valve right here for the regulator valve. This is pretty cool and weird. Anyway, anyways, let's look at the housing. See what the housing we got. I can take off my glove and feel it. You can feel something, but it's good. That one passes. So now I just need to clean this up and install the new housing. Or not the housing, new pump cover. I'll be back. Alright, let's go ahead and get this thing all cleaned up. I was last working on this yesterday, you know. This is a new day, new dawn. Go ahead and get this housing all cleaned up and ready to go. Keep the bad boy going. Get the seal out real quick. So when you do this, you want to make sure you don't go too deep in, right? And you scuff up the wall. You scuff up the side of the housing. So you just want to be careful, you know. Don't go too deep and don't go too hard. Because there is a bushing right there. That's a bushing, and you don't want to scuff it up when you take out the seal. So. Keep it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Alright. I'm gonna clean this up real quick. Alright, here we got the pump cover. It's all clean. Don't forget to blow in through all the bolt holes, because I was just doing that and I got a whole bunch of like metal shavings coming out of there, so I don't know if y'all can see. And on my shirt. Ooh, I can't really get y'all to see. Anyways, but be sure to, especially if it's a new pump cover, be sure to blow through those, because you do get excess like material in there from when they were machining this. Alright, cool. So from here, let's wash the rotor and the, I was gonna say and the slide, but let's just wash the rotor and the fins. Alright, so I put glue on the bottom of this, I don't know what you would call it, the little plastic bottom of the rotor. You know it goes there because this side don't have any of the notches. As you can see there, got a notch. But I just put glue on the bottom of it so it don't fall out. That's pretty much it. So from here, I lube up the housing, just so there's some type of lubrication. Then I grab one of the rings and I just set it up in there, try to get as close to the center as possible. That's fine. Then you grab this and throw that up in there. Like that. And now you can begin to throw the fins in. So just throw them in one at a time. And when you throw them in, make sure to not put them in long ways. They will not fit this way. Gotta put them in vertically. So, yep, so just do that. I don't know how many of them there are, but... And you know they're in there when it's flush with the rotor. You see how it's flush? So, yep, go ahead and do that with all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up real quick. I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, after all the fins are in, just add the ring. And that's pretty much done for now. The Porsche?
Was that black truck? That was a brown truck, right? It had 200,000 miles.